In this video, we're going to be talking about the top three benefits of creating a community for your business. That could be a brand, that could be an online business or a local business. And then we're going to go through the five different platforms that I would use if I was building a community in 2024. So let's get started with this. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see us building a community in real time and seeing what we're doing, we have the brand new phase of Build with Me, the community. You can apply to be a part of this paid community where you're getting all these types of benefits. We'll talk about that at the end. So, first of all, what are the three different benefits that we're going to be exploring today? Well, number one, we're going to be talking about how you can be understanding your true fans more deeply. We're going to be looking at unique ways to connect with your audience and then creating MVPs with your audience and really creating MVPs that your audience wants. Now, before we deep dive into these benefits, this is a common question that people ask me all the time. What platform should I use? Should I be using, should I be using Uscreen? Should I be using Better Mode? Should we be looking at Heartbeat? We'll get to the five different platforms you could use for building your community. But what you need to first focus on are these three benefits and what you want to do with your community. So in the comment section down below, let me know if you're watching this on replay or watching this live. Just do hashtag replay. But let's get into these three benefits and what you need for your community. Number one, understanding your true fans. Now, that is going to be the number one benefit. And when you're going to be creating a community, let's break down what that means. Number one, we can look at understanding your true fans. You can look at the analytics, understanding who connects with you, why they're connecting with you, looking at conversations, and then also the connections. You could have directories for people to connect like minded professions or different interest group. But what I want you to think about for your own true fans and what you're trying to figure out, have you figured out your true fans? Do you understand the difference between your audience that might live on social networks, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and then who your true fans are? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you're trying to figure out who your true fans are or what that means, simply put, they're the ones that will stay with you throughout anything, ones that want to know what you're selling, how they can support you, all of those things. So think about ones that are willing to either give you time or some kind of financial support for your audience. And that's not a bad thing. Some people be like, oh my goodness, it's only ones that pay for you. It's a litmus test to see ones that really want to stay with your brand long term. And although it might feel icky at first, or one's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe they're willing to pay for my content, that can be a very good indicator of ones that want to support you long term. So think about Patreon, think about all of these other different mechanisms for people to support you. And those are different ways that you can see, okay, who are my true fans? Now, if you're still worried about this and you say, well, I don't want this to feel gross and I'm just doing this to help people. Well, you might want to think about like Ko-Fi or something like Buy Me a Coffee, and you can be testing out who would support you. And this allows you to have a very low barrier of entry to see, okay, who would support me and, how much financial support can there really be out there for my advice or something like this. So if you have not set something up, this is not a sponsored link. Try out Buy Me a Coffee or a Ko-Fi or something like that to start testing out what your audience wants or what do people respond to support you. For example, we have our Ko-Fi page right here. And so we have had different supporters. We've had, okay, over 86 different people support us. And this was just Buy Me a Red Bull. So this is when I was first starting out and seeing who wanted the information, what did people want? And this was an easy way to see, okay, was this something, were we on track for something? And you can do the same exact thing. So for us, we do Ko-Fi and it was Buy Me a Red Bull. When we first got started, that was, I would always be drinking Red Bull on stream, and that became a thing. And then we could see support and go from there. Same thing for you. You can think about your creative work and what you want to put out into the world and see, do people want to pay for you reviewing something? Or maybe, if it's asking for advice, would people pay for your advice? or can you review something or help them with something else, or tutoring, something like that. Now, that's one option. But when you're creating a community, you can pretty much put this on steroids. Instead of just saying something that might be voluntary, you can also create a community where you're saying, "Hey, I would love to help you in this specific aspect. Join my community." You might see people do Discord, join my Discord or join my Patreon. Sometimes they have free tiers or sometimes paid. For us, we're always looking to see if this is profitable. And so we're always testing your audience. Are they willing to pay for this? And it's okay if they say no, but this gives you great feedback to see, okay, am I there yet? Or maybe I need to create a lot more free content before they're ready to pay me. That's why we love the beauty of YouTube. That's why we have a YouTube channel, to be able to show people and to help people for free. And if there is a small segment of the audience that want paid help, that's what we have available as well. And you can do the very same thing. It doesn't matter the niche, it doesn't matter the hobby. You can be creating a community when you're giving benefits and you're helping someone. It's just asking the right questions. So let's go a little bit deeper, understanding your true fans. When you're using a community or having a community, you can decide or find out what people are responding to and be able to go from there. Now, we're going to be looking at Heartbeat in a second, but Heartbeat allows you to have all of these different ways for people to connect with you. And that allows you to see how you can deliver great content or great knowledge for them. For example, it says documents, build a knowledge base for your members. You can give different lists. You can give them also different strategy guides, checklists, all these things. This might be a benefit why someone might join your community. That's what you can have with your community. You can also offer different types of courses. You can do cohort based, evergreen courses. You can do native videos right there. So they log in and then they see your custom videos only for your community. You can be doing this as well. So there are tons of different ways that you can be doing this. The next one is unique ways to connect. So you can have different formats. Like I mentioned, you could have mastermind workshops, hot seats. You can have different cohorts that are a limited time throughout the year. There are tons of different ways that you can be doing this and provide value for your audience. In fact, that's what we did when we joined a boot camp. So it's called bootcamp.dev, and this really allows you to become a full stack web developer. And I did that in 2024. And right here, he only offers it once a year. You have to sign up for it. And the lessons, all the feedback, he helps you in a Discord server. And he only opens it once a year. He does this. He makes over probably 150K a year just with this one product, and then goes on for there. And he has other cohorts that he has throughout the year. And then the last one, if we look at it, is creating MVPs your audience wants. So creating a minimal viable product. That's what MVP stands for. This allows you to, instead of going in blind thinking about, oh, I'm going to create a course that everyone's going to love. No, you can test out these different ideas and then be able to pre-order and then see, do people want these things before you launch? And that's what we always tell all of our students, our clients: test before you go out there and actually launch something. In fact, we're doing this live and you're seeing the building in public process of this with our Build With Me community. We've had Build With Me community before, but now we're changing the format. We're doing some things and we have an application to join. For the first, we're only accepting 15 right now. So we're going to be launching it in the next couple of weeks, and you're going to be seeing us actually building this in real time, showing you why we're doing this and how this can help you with your own brand and all those things. So the link is down below if you want to apply and see what's going on. Okay, so let's take a look at the 5 different platforms that you could be building a community, and then start linking a little bit more into these 3 benefits. And in the comment section down below, if you've been thinking about launching your community in 2024 and you feel overwhelmed or don't know where to start, remember, Let us know in the comment section or apply to join the community. So let's look at the 5 different platforms, shall we? The 5 would be number 1, Heartbeat, number 2, Better Mode, number 3, Uscreen, number 4, Group App, and number 5, Superpass. Now, as we're going through this, I will say no community platform is perfect for every single community. So this really will depend on what are you trying to build and why. And then you can choose a platform that aligns with the features that you need for you to have a successful community that can scale. So let's talk about one at a time. Number 1, Heartbeat is an all-in-one platform for community businesses. I want to stress this because you are running a business. Your community is a business. Heartbeat is made for you for that. Okay. So if you're looking to be running paid programs, if you're looking at advanced segmentation when people are onboarding onto your community, this is a perfect platform for you. Next up, if we look at Better Mode, this is a platform that allows you to create different types of communities, but where they really focus on or specialize in, if you're trying to create a community where you're trying to do upvoting, or if you're a SaaS founder and you're trying to give updates to your community, this is where it really shines. And if you're familiar with Flutterflow, they use Better Mode for their community, and quite a few others, including Smart Suite, use Better Mode as well. So there are some great use cases, and we have a whole video on the channel talking about it. But again, I would really stress if you have a very specific need, if you're trying to do an upvote site like Product Hunt, if you're a SaaS founder and you want to build out a codeless or code-free platform where you don't have to worry about a lot of customization, Better Mode is great for that. Which brings us to Uscreen. Uscreen allows you to have a community, but what I would say is it's video first. If you're trying to do video delivery for your business and you want to have components of a community, that's what's great about Uscreen. It is not an all-in-one like any type of community. If you're video first and you have a video library or trying to do more like video on demand or Netflix, that's the style of Uscreen where it has a component of a community. We have tons of videos on the channel that goes deep, but that's where they really focus on. Group App is an all-in-one learning community platform for knowledge creators, very specific. So ones that are YouTubers and you're a knowledge creator, I think this is perfect for you. I would say Group App is almost like Heartbeat on rails. You can't really break it. It's very easy to get started. You have less customization, but you know what? I actually think it's great for a lot of communities where you feel overwhelmed and don't know where to start. I think it's a great option. And then the last one is Superpass. Um, Everything you need to build a content business around your podcast. I really view this as almost like Patreon white labeled, right? So anything that you want to do with Patreon and you want the same kind of features, you want your own app where people can download it in the App Store, I would be looking at that. So again, if you want me to go more in depth, let me know what platform that you really like or have questions on. We can talk about it. We're going to be building a lot of these out coming up with these different platforms. But in general, every platform has their own strengths and weaknesses. It really depends on what you're trying to build. And some of these brands we've worked with before, some I'm just a huge fan of. And if you want me to go more in depth, we will. But let's dive into why we can use any of these platforms for these 3 benefits. Understanding your true fans, if we look at analytics, conversions, and connections, if we're looking at Heartbeat, one of the standout features I feel like is looking at the analytics. So let's take a look at a little bit more user guide. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go with, I want to take a look at the analytics and what it offers. But basically, what you can do with this is, okay, let's see, how can I look at the analytics um, in Heartbeat? So I can start looking at community stats. I can look at the threads, the messages, who's logged in, document views. And this gives me a wide range of, okay, what's happening on my community. What I like about this is instead of using other third party integrations like Mixpanel, or if you use Google Analytics and you're setting up different events, this is already baked in. So if you're trying to figure out what's working, like even if you're doing voice rooms, so if you're doing something similar to like Discord and you're having people just be able to just use the voice rooms for vibes or listening to music or just helping each other, if you're doing like a cohort or like a build weekend, you could be using Heartbeat, and you get all of those analytics already built in a snapshot that you can have for your team, or if you're using this for a specific brand. That's why I just love that. Conversations and connections. Again, if you're going to be using multiple platforms to connect, it's going to be hard to track, or you're going to have to be doing some other work, but you can see all the logins, what's going on with your community, and all of those things right off the bat. And depending on what platform you use, you're going to be able to get some analytics. But again, depends on what you're using, what platform you want, all of those things. I think Heartbeat is probably one of the best, like native analytics that I've seen. Yeah. Unique ways to connect. So, different ways, mastermind, workshops, hot seats. Again, this is one of the reasons I like Heartbeat is if I want to have different courses, if I want to launch all different types of experiences, I can do it relatively easy with Heartbeat. But this isn't just with Heartbeat. You could do this in a couple different ways and almost Frankenstein this together. You could use this with Slack. You could do this with Zoom. There's all these other things. But when we're using Heartbeat, it integrates with your calendar, integrates with Zoom, so it can send out those links when people are already joining the communities. Some of the things that I enjoy and why I like using Heartbeat. Um, Depending on what I'm going to be using, if I'm going to be doing like a live stream, and again, I'm a more of a creator and video content is first, I might use Uscreen as well. They have different things that you could be doing with live streaming. Um, and again, you could have different timers for people to set to the calendar before you actually start having the community join in and everything like that. The one thing I will say about Uscreen, I've been saying this for years, the one thing that stands out bar none is probably their membership tools for their marketing. So upselling, making sure that you're cutting down on churn or people leaving the platform. They have the best marketing tool kit for communities or a platform that I've seen. Before, you're usually using third party software to integrate. Uscreen, I think that's where their major selling point is, where you can issue coupons, offer different discounts automatically when people are trying to cancel. I just think it's one of the best platforms for that. Um, and then also too, creating MVPs for your audience, what they really want. I would say there's a couple different ones that I would look at. Again, I would probably use Heartbeat if I'm going to be doing a testing. Instead of doing like a course, I might do it like a live workshop, and then I can chop that up and then repurpose it into a course, and then sell the course as a like a one-time uh, charge or part of the community if people pay. But I could also see this being used in like Superpass. I always want to say Superbase, but Superpass. I could do the same thing. I could be having a free podcast, and then I could have an audio course that I'm selling on Superpass as well. That might be something that I'm looking at. If I'm using Uscreen, I could have a live stream that I'm having, and then again, sell one time video, like video on demand, and then go into membership from there. There's a couple things that I could be looking at. But again, no matter what you're trying to do, you could be doing this with a community and getting real time feedback to then making changes. Also, to Better Mode, I would say they have a couple different formats that you could be using, and people could be voting on different designs, different products, and that could be a whole interaction or a whole channel in itself where people could be asking for, a certain product or a feature, and then that makes you, launch the new product or anything like that. So again, depending on what you're trying to do, that's going to allow you to be successful. in what kind of community you're going to launch. What I also want to have is what I'm going to show you is 100 days of no code. I think 100 days of no code just changed their branding to like 100 days school. Shout out to Max and what they're doing over there. But what I want to show is a couple different communities where you can look at what they're doing and then get some inspiration from there. Okay, so we're going to look at three different ones. The first one I mentioned was the full stack web development bootcamp, and I'm going to drop his link in the chat. But this allows you to see, okay, if you're going to be doing a yearly like a boot camp, this is a really good example of how he does it. He has a join a waiting list. It is not fake like FOMO. He only opens it once a year. It's very basic. It's showing you what's going to be happening, and it's low maintenance. After he's done for the year, he's done and then can move on. He doesn't have to maintain a lot. The other one is 100 Days of No Code, which really is an online. There's a couple different ways how you can join, but I would look at it because I think Max has done a great job, especially with the email sequence of the 100 days, and the churn is so low because you know what you're getting. You're getting 100 days of this, so expect 100 emails. But that has really helped him to be able to work with sponsors, be able to show how, you know, why people should be sponsoring the newsletter, the course, all those things, and go from there. He also has different courses here. So he has, okay, start anytime, intro to no code guide, 100 days of no code challenge, and then the no code MVP bootcamp. And then so two are free, I believe, and then one is going to be paid. Let's take a look at this. And then he has it on Maven. I wonder if he switched it over full time from there. Um, but you can see right here, it's $800, and then you go from here. Okay. Next up, if we look at chief of staff network, so they are very specific. It's a professional network for chief of staff, and really they were focused on um, really ones that are currently in the position. So this is really specific. I love this as well because you're not getting ones that want to be in the program. The the selling point is you're going to be with high performers that are in their profession, in their craft, and that way it's going to be highly relevant for your current position. And you can also see on their application page, you're seeing how many people are involved, you're seeing the membership price, the benefits, what's happening, and then the FAQ. So again, priming before you join. Excellent job, all of those things. And so those are a few examples. And again, we're going to be talking about relaunching the Build With Me community. And again, we're still debating if it's going to be a club, what we're going to call it, a syndicate. We don't know. But the thing is, we always start talking about having a, first of all, a application process. No matter what community, the first phase, we really highly strongly have a application because then you can get more feedback of who's applying and why they're applying, and then how can they help the community as well. That's what we have. So we have why we should really say what is the main reason you want to join, what skill or knowledge can you add to the community, and how did you hear about us. So we're learning more about who's applying, where our leads are coming from, and going from there. So we're going to be talking more about communities coming up. If this is something that's interesting to you about the tech, about how this is done in a way that's sustainable and works for brands, and you want more details, make sure in the comment section you let us know. We're going to be doing more videos about this. If you have questions about a certain platform that we talked about, Heartbeat, Group App, Better Mode, Uscreen, or Superpass, please let us know, and we're going to be talking about this very soon. Again, if you like this kind of content, make sure that you like and subscribe. We're going to be doing this every single week. I'll see you